Okay, so why is the government okay with speeding up Diddy's appeal? I'm looking at the filing that locks in a rapid schedule, briefs through winter, arguments in April 2026. No fluff, just dates, deadlines, and a clock that suddenly matters. Diddy's lawyer, Alexandra Shapiro, asked the Second Circuit to fast-track his case. Not a casual nudge, an explicit request to put this appeal on rails. The key idea is simple: move quick enough that any ruling will still matter while he's serving time. And here's the part that made me raise an eyebrow. The government's position changes the whole vibe, and we have a clean 4-step timeline. So December on the 23rd, we have the opening brief plus appendix. That's Diddy's side. On the February 20th, 2026, we have the opposition brief, which is the government. On March 13, 2026, we have the reply brief, which is Diddy's side again. And on April 2026, we have the oral argument. That sequence means each side gets its say without dead air. I like how tight it is: winter writing, spring arguing, clean, fast, and public. But why push the gas this hard? So the defense pitch is straightforward. By the time a normal appeal wraps, the sentence piece could be pointless. He's already logged a chunk of time with possible reductions under RDAP and the First Step Act. In plain English, if the court takes the slow road, even a win on the sentence might show up after it no longer helps. So they are asking, decide sooner while time still matters. This isn't a prediction about who wins, it's about timing. The appeal asks the court to look at legal questions now, not after the clock runs out. So what exactly is he appealing? He's not just pushing the sentence, he's challenging the convictions too. And quick reminder, an appeal isn't a trial 2.0. It's not rerunning witnesses. It's lawyers arguing law and the record. What the judge did, what the jury heard, what the rules allow. If the court sees a legal error that matters, it can vacate something, remand, or affirm. But it's about the law, not replaying the whole case. So going after both the convictions and the sentence explains the urgency. If you're aiming at the foundation and the finish line, you don't want the calendar to beat you. And here is the twist that changes the odds of getting that fast lane. So reports say that the government consents to the expedited schedule. That does not mean they agree with him, only that they are fine moving faster. Still, it matters. When both sides line up on timing, courts often say, okay, let's set a calendar. Why consent? A few neutral possibilities. Clear the questions sooner, reduce limbo, keep the docket clean. It's housekeeping, not a handshake on the outcome. So the bottom line, consent makes an expedited order more likely. Not guaranteed, judges still decide, but the path is smoother when nobody is fighting the schedule. So when could this actually change anything? If the court approves the fast track, here's the rhythm. Opening brief hits just before the holidays, the government answers in February, the reply lands in March, and we all watch April 2026 for oral argument. A decision usually follows weeks or months later. It varies. Best case for speed, the court issues the expedition order soon, arguments stay on April, and we got a rolling while the sentence still matters. If expedition is not approved, the case can drift onto the normal timeline, slower, less predictable. And there are no promises here. A fast schedule won't decide the result. It just means we got to the answer sooner, whatever that answer is. Now, what should we watch so we are not guessing? We have 3 milestones. The first one is going to be the order. Does the court formally grant the expedited schedule? If yes, dates are real. If no, we are back to normal pace. Second, December the 23rd, 2025, the opening brief. That's where we finally see the legal targets, the record size, and the theory of the case laid out in full. And finally, the third, scheduling notice for April 2026. Once the argument date posts, we will know the panel and the time slot. And I'll keep it to the filings, not fan theories. If rumors pop up, I'll say reports claim or people online are saying, and keep it marked as unverified. The core is the docket and the dates. Now, if you're asking, does this mean release in 5 or 6 months? Let's make that realistic. I've seen the chatter. If the appeal is fast-tracked, he could be out in months. Now, slow down a bit. The appeal schedule is brisk, yes, but the decision isn't the day after arguments, and outcomes range from affirm to vacate to remand. Also, policies like RDAP and First Step Act credits are eligibility paths, not instant exits. They factor into timeline, they don't promise a date. So the honest update is, the only thing we know for sure is when the papers are due and when the lawyers expect to argue, April 2026. Anything beyond that is a maybe, not a promise. Now, where does the court come in all of this? So you might see people say, if the parties agree, the judge will just rubber stamp it. Not how this works. In the Second Circuit, a panel or motions judge still has to grant the expedition. Consent helps, but the court guards its calendar. If granted, we move on that set of dates. If not, the case runs the usual course. So I'm watching for that short order, granted or denied. Now let's talk about impact, because speed and impact are not the same thing. A quick schedule does one main thing. It protects the remedy. If the court were to change something about the sentence, that matters more if time remains. Same idea for any ruling that affects custody status. If the court affirms, speed just means you got the answer sooner. Either way, faster timing cuts the fog. And honestly, clarity is valuable here. Less rumor, we have more paper. But what about the tone? Some people say the fast track shows confidence. Maybe, but here is the safe read. Defense asking to move faster? Normal. Government consenting? Not rare when the timeline is reasonable. It keeps the case tidy and the issues fresh. I don't read consent as a wink. I read it as, fine, let's argue this in spring. If you hear people framing consent like a concession, nope. The government's brief is still coming in hot in February. Now let's answer the big worry in one line. Is this trial part 2? Of course not. Appeals are about law and the record. No new witnesses, no fresh sets of the stories. If the panel sends anything back, that's a later step. Right now, it's briefs, arguments, and a decision on legal issues. Now, the human piece that people keep asking about, how he's doing. And here is how I handle that. I get the post, he's furious, he's fine, he's plotting, all that. I'm not going to guess about anyone's mood. I'm staying with the filings. If something isn't on paper or in a court notice, I'll tag it as rumor or skip it. That's how we keep this clean and safe for the platform. No wild claims, no graphic talk, no accusations stated as facts. So yeah, the pace just jumped. We are trading slow drift for a clear runaway into April 2026. That's good for everyone who wants answers. Not because it picks a winner, but because it cuts the waiting. So stick around, I'll read the filings so you don't have to. And basically that is it. I'm Miko, and if you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe to my channel and also like this video, and I will catch you up in my next one. Until then, stay safe.